All right, everyone, we're back for episode 3 of Franken-burb. Keegan, what are we going to try to get done in this episode?
We're going to try and put a cross member in it, and we're going to try and put the heart in it.
Yep, we're going to try to get an engine transmission in the old girl. All right, first order of business is to get the transmission cross member in. We got one out of a frame that was down in one of the other sheds, so we robbed that. So another truck to the list, and we got to get this in here, which if you've not done this before, it's a little bit of a trick. You kind of have to get them in a little bit of an angle and kind of hammer them into place and down. So I'll help Keegan place it, and then Keegan, you're going to bolt it in after that while you help your brother with something. So, yep. All right, let's get.
Now,
all right, I'm gonna hammer it from the back first. Is the big hole in the very center in the front of it or behind it?
There should be two holes are pointing backwards to the back of the truck.
The two? I think we got the right way. We got lucky. Even though I wasn't paying attention when I threw it in here. Alright, we got it the right, we got lucky, got it the right way, even though I wasn't paying attention and slapped it in here before I realized I need to make sure it's facing the right way. So we got lucky on that. In the video, but we just put this thing in backwards. My parents have Mike here, who's a mechanic, and said, hey, you got that in backwards. I said, oh yeah, how do you know? He said, this lean here, we see a little angle.
And the hole for
it's supposed to lean to the back, and we had it leaning to the forward. So we got to take it out, and now we're going to put it back in again. Plus, you got the hole for the emergency brake. And I don't know what these holes are, but we compared them to my mom's Suburban, and it's got these little holes that go up front. They go to nothing, but at least you know these little holes go up front. So if you're putting one of these in, make sure you don't put it in backwards. Put it in where the lean goes to the back. And then he's saying if we sand this down and grind off the corners, it'll make it a little easier to go in. So we're probably going to sand these down, grind the corners a little bit, just to make it a little easer to go in.
Round those corners and it won't bind.
All right, so we're going to do that and slide it in, hopefully. And this time, hopefully, because we went it backwards, the reason why we realized we had a problem was the bolts just weren't quite lining up on the top. So he said, yeah, that's when he came over and looked at it, so it was backwards. So hopefully the bolt holes will line up now. All right, we gotta send these fellas back to hell real fast. God damn, they pissed.
Well, there's like 20 of them. I'll let Dad don't call me at 50.
All right, now we can work without getting stung to death, hopefully. All right, we got the Suburban down here by the shed where the engine is for it. Hopefully we can get that on today while I'm sweeping that out and checking for wasps. Keegan is going to take the factory big block motor mounts off of this old gold truck and put them onto Franken-burb because someone had taken the factory big block mounts that were originally on there off before I got it. So he's gonna work on that, and I'll sweep it out, and then hopefully we can get him over here and start getting that engine on there. All right, so we've got Keegan's engine unearthed. Here it is. I think we can bring that one. Oh, were you thinking you were getting that one? Oh, this is your engine here. Nah, I'm messing with you. All right. Got our big block unearthed. Let's get it back over here and see if we can get on the engine hoist. Yeah, this is our little cache of engines and stuff. How many of them are worth a damn, I don't know. We had a buddy that had all these and he just gave them all to us.
If you go around that corner, there's a mountain of 3-speeds in under that frame.
Yeah, there's all types of stuff. He was like selling some properties, like come get all these engines. 2 of them are 400s. I can't remember, 400 snow blocks, but I can't remember which 2.
This is a nice 2-barrel intake.
Yeah. But this 396, I've heard running. I've driven that gold truck, what's left of it. I've driven that with this engine transmission, so I know it has some life to it because it was running and driving when we started stripping it down. All right, we're gonna get on the hoist, and then we'll move Franken-burb from over there to here. Okay, so Keegan is taking what's left of these old exhaust pipes off because Franken-burb still does have our exhaust lines in place, and I told them, I said, we do not want to get in there and get a whole new set of problems by having this mash into where Franken-burb's exhausts are. So he's gonna take those off before we try to lift her up and put her in, because seeing that this frame was factory big block, they should line up to those exhaust manifolds. And if they line up those exhaust manifolds, means they're going to line up to the exhaust sticking out. Although these are pretty rough, so we'll probably have to cut them and put new ones in there. But it'll be show us where we need to put them, at least for now.
Dad.
Hold on. And unless we break these bolts off, this side, the exhaust manifold should still be good to go.
This one.
But this one's a goner either way, so it's busted up back here. So we'll worry about that when we get that far along that we're trying to run it. Okay, so if we can get the other side off, then we can lift her. All right, moment of truth. Let's see if we can get this in here. Pump those little arms.
Pump up the engine. Pump up.
I don't know if this engine hoist can be big enough. Okay, keep your feet clear, because I do not trust this old chain.
I don't trust it either.
I don't either.
You got me pumping.
So just slowly take it up. Anything starts getting wacky on us, we'll stop.
Keep going. You gotta go way up there.
Yeah, get her in the sky.
You gotta clear that.
Okay, hold on real fast. All
I
right,
might trust this.
that's why we're gonna stay clear. And if it starts falling or leaning in any way, you don't try to catch it, you just back the hell out of the way.
Not too much room for me to
See, the back of this is lifting a little bit, which doesn't make me crazy happy.
Hop on it with me.
I will, but just get up a little bit more and see if I can get this roller out from underneath here.
Use a broom. Use this $1 broom to get the roller out.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. Dad, hand me that. Or, thanks. Yeah. You're at the age you don't care if you lose an arm. I still have a lot of years left to use my arms for working.
It's not very nice. You pressure it.
Wow, this is really listing.
There.
We're working on it, so
I know.
okay, hold on. Before we get it any higher, let's see if we can push it back closer to the... Oh, yeah. Nothing like... Whoa!
She's a little weighty.
You wanna
Slipped on the chain.
Nothing like metal casters when uneven concrete.
You need to push it that way. Push it back in that way.
We will.
this
Of course, we have all the good lift stuff over at our house to work on Keegan's Blazer,
Sure,
not
right
over
back.
here where we need it. Watch out, let me get past you here.
I heard about that Kenny bot too.
Okay.
Line it up at least halfway.
Yeah, well, you just kind of keep this still and we'll push it back a little bit more. Okay. Let me get past you here.
Like keep going up.
Yeah, we're going to have to keep going up, but I want to get a little closer. Let me know if I'm about to get kind of hook under there.
That's good.
Right there, right there, right there.
Okay. Keep going up.
Somebody's got to hook handle the transmission.
We will.
Keep going.
But he's going to have to go up a little more before we worry about that. Okay, just stay. Watch your feet.
I'm trying.
Maybe if we swing it like a swing, it'll launch itself up in there.
Yeah.
That's... Okay, hold on. Let me check the clearance on the transmission. Ooh.
It's heavy, isn't it?
I know it is.
Those creaks are very comforting.
I can't. Hold on. Maybe you help me. Let's both pick it up and get it over.
Somebody's got to push it forward, isn't it?
I got it.
Let's get up over this first. Up. Wait a minute. What are you doing? Are you pulling it towards you or?
No, pull it up.
Holy shit.
Get up.
It's up a little bit. See if you can raise it a little bit more. So just watch out because if it flips.
I'd watch it. Okay.
The wasps are falling in love. with
Wasps
each
are
other.
just crazy everywhere. Whoa.
Gotta come
All
on.
right, let me push it forward here. Oh, that's good.
More.
Dad, we're gonna need a pry bar to slip it up over there, aren't we?
Hopefully, now if
Let me have a try.
now if it falls, it'll only destroy
Very
the
careful.
engine, so transmission and engine.
Be very careful, sir.
Keep your feet away. it back a little. What? Just a little.
Buddy.
Wish we had that leveler right about now.
Yeah.
It's gonna fall back down again, so
That's fine.
loud clang and keep pushing. Or do you want to lift it up?
You cameraman it. I'll
Me?
help him.
Okay. I got a little.
Now it's gotta be lifted up again.
So say if y'all can get more out of that lift, I
Best
would.
is someone get inside it. Whoop.
Okay, start pushing it forward again.
Get
Okay.
the fan.
Yeah, now we're at the pan.
Yeah, hold on.
I believe in you. Buddy's gonna. There you go. There you go.
Push it forward, Keegan.
Keegan, push. There you go. There you go. Okay, we're doing
We
good.
need the dog to move because if this falls, it'll kill him.
Buddy.
He's pat him. He's too old. There you
Move,
go.
bud.
You gotta touch the
He's
pedal.
immortal. We can't kill him now.
You gotta touch old
Hold
Yeller.
on. Stick it. Dad, see if you can pick the transmission, the back end up while I push this forward.
Yeah, let's put the young man on it.
Oh. Okay.
Hold on, I
Okay.
gotta move it this way.
The pan is slowly getting over it.
It is over it. If we just slide the engine hoist over.
You can slide the insurance off the concrete either.
Oh yeah. That would be bad. Actually,
well.
wait.
If we go that far forward, it'll practically be in place.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna slowly head it in. It's gonna fall off the
Now start
concrete.
lowering it a little.
Yeah, I'd come down a little.
Well, you do that. That's your job. You're the handle man. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. I know. I'm just letting you know. Oh.
Oh, turn. Sorry about that. Okay.
Now you go back to the handle job.
Now what?
Lower it a little bit more.
Whoa, that's a lot
more.
Jesus.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's
Take
a
it
new
back up a little bit.
transmission.
Now we got the starter hanging up on the.
Is he gonna blow up?
No.
Yes, actually. I attached a bomb to the bottom of it. You just activated it.
Okay, that's good then.
No, we just have to pick up some more to starter and all that's hung up over
Oh, is it?
Mr. Engine, do not break Mr. Chain.
Okay, now push it back.
Carlos above, bless us with
Kinda
the
hold it in place
safeness
right
of
here,
your hands. Oh, there she
Alright.
goes.
off the concrete.
She's going good.
There you go, off
Raise it up a little
concrete.
bit more. Come on.
Hey, we'll work it in.
We gotta get it
A
up
little
over
more.
there.
There you go.
Whoa. Okay, push it forward a little.
It's gonna have to go forward.
It's gonna have to go forward a lot.
That's fine.
Start
Now what?
with just
Hold
lower
on.
a tad.
We gotta get the transmission up over the transmission cross
Oh
member.
my god.
Someone's gonna have to brave it. You want me to get down there?
I can do it. Someone manages the camera.
All right, guys, just like that, it is another day since the first part of the video, which was just a second ago for you guys, happened. We've had a hurricane, so we went like a week without power. So it's been like a week and a half. We finally got life back to normal, but the ground, we've been getting a lot of rain, ground's wet and everything. So we're gonna work in the shed, so I apologize for the poor lighting, but the remainder of this video, what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to get the engine properly mounted, finish that out. We had that 67-8 style steering column in there. I'm gonna go ahead and get now he wants to do the truck more like a 70-72, so we're gonna get a 70-72 column out. And we're gonna just keep working on the front end and slowly get it ready for running. So we're gonna get started. Real fast, I did wanna say, if anyone's watching this and you are a lineman from another state that came to the Houston area to help us, we really appreciate it. We saw guys from Alabama, Indiana. I think the guys that fixed our power were from Indiana, Missouri, all over the place. Really appreciate it. I know there's been some stories out there about a lot of you guys getting harassed and bullied by locals, which really shocks me and really embarrasses me. But if anyone's watching that came down here, man, this video's for you. We really appreciate everything y'all did for us. All right, let's get work on the truck.
Yep.
All right, so same issue we were having before. I tried to get under there and see if I could finagle the engine transmission into place without cutting out or hammering the firewall, but it's just, the engine's kind of bound up in there. Even though I had a truck that was a small block truck and had a big block in there. So I wanted to loosen the body mounts the Suburban and just raise it an inch and get it, the engine transmission here. Keegan wants to go ahead and cut the floor out because he wants to put a big block hump in there anyways. So I was like, all right, your truck. So we're gonna cut where it would be cut for a big block high hump. He's got some high humps, and I guess we'll just kind of rivet them in place for now. But the end game eventually will be to get an original floor out of a high hump truck and weld that in and properly bolt it in. But for now, we're gonna cut this out. That should give us clearance we need so the transmission not bound between the frame and the body, and then we can get it in there. So my 71 Cheyenne truck here, when I bought it, someone had actually put it on a 4-wheel drive frame at one point in time. So they actually cut out where the high hump should be. So I'm gonna follow the pattern they did here when they had cut it out, and that's where I'll cut Keegan's Suburban. Now since then, since I knew I was gonna make this a big block truck or anything, I got a low hump floor and welded it back in. So it kind of looks back to original, but I'm gonna follow where they cut it, because I think they cut it pretty accurately. So I'm gonna do some measurements on here, and then we'll start cutting on Keegan's low hump and get it out of there. All right, so I got like a little mountain of speaker wires and all types of aftermarket wires, cleared them out of the way. Went ahead and had Keegan take the old 67/8 style steering column out, so I'm gonna use it anyways. Marked where I'm gonna make my cuts. So time to cut it out. One, break this free. Yeah, cut it, why not? All right, low hump out. We should be able to work on moving this around without it hitting. The problem was, it was just hitting that lip right here. It was just right up against it. We couldn't do any moving. So, all right. So now that we've done that, we're able to work on getting this engine transmission in there, which was the original job we were supposed to do. Okay, so we have really been eating up a lot of this afternoon. We have had the engine in here. We have tried to get it mounted. We've got the bolts on this side. We've done everything. We cannot get it all mounted up. The transmission bolts are in. One thing I've just realized, the engine that came out of this was, I thought it was all original, but I think it's been worked on because the truck was from a bunch of rednecks, so I should have known it was gonna have some redneck engineering. This mount, you see the metal mount, it rolls around for this to sit up in there, and it sits in there and then it goes down onto the big block bracket. The reason why we're not getting it to line up is we were trying to use that same rubber mount. I don't know where it is for this side. We have another rubber mount like that one. Where is it? Okay, yeah, so we got this rubber mount that we're trying to get onto the original motor mount, or motor stand, whatever you call it, bracket. But if you look, this is like a newer small block bracket here. See how it's flat? Those are for, I believe, small blocks. Either way, it's not the right one because it doesn't loop around. So somewhere over the years, they'd swap the engine, put a different bracket. So I've got two different brackets that I'm trying to put on. So that's why the engine's been listing. We can't get it going. So we got to get that fixed to get it fully in there. So now I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And then I looked at the 72. We have two factory big block 72 Suburbans. And I guess between 70 and 72, they must have changed quite a bit out because their brackets and everything are completely different. So I don't know. The body's a 70, the engine's 70, all this stuff came out of a 70. The frame is a 72, so I don't know if that's causing us problems or not. We are just having all types of problems lining this up. So that's the one thing we just noticed. We got to look and see what we've got to do to get this darn motor lined up. Transmission, we've got two bolts, wiggle it around right up in there. They're loose, so we can move the engine. These front bolts, we cannot get them lined up. We get that bolt in, and then this side sits way up high, so I don't know. And I don't want to do this too unconventionally because, you know, I don't want it to be dangerous. So we got to keep working to figure it out. Gotta get past this, but it is. It's been like a couple hours of us fighting on this, so off camera. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with these brackets, if they're original or not. I know one thing, they don't look like the brackets on our other two 72 factory big block Suburbans. They don't fit that well. All I know is this aftermarket one here, or not aftermarket, this small block, I believe it's small block one here. When we lowered engine down, it lined up perfectly. And so we found another one in my parts bin. We're gonna try to put it on this side, lower it. If it all falls into place, we're just gonna bolt these in with these. It might not sit exactly right. It might not be 100% factory correct, but if it fits, then we can bolt it down safely and go with that. So we're gonna put this one on over here, get some proper bolts, we'll lower it and see what happens. Okay, hard to see, but I got that bracket we found in there. So moment of truth, let's go ahead and lower this and let's see how well it falls into place. We might have to finagle it, but hopefully it gets somewhat close. If it's still weight.
A piece of wood, so.
Oh, I gotta move this wood over here. I had that so in case something fell, it wouldn't crush my hand. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, let me move these. Whether those are original or not, those have been the bane of our existence today. We couldn't get anything lined up because of these. Of course, I didn't notice till just a little bit ago this was a different one. Okay, lower it. See, it fell right in the, look at that, it fell right into place. I'm almost positive.
M-I-N-T.
Yeah, I'm almost positive the bolts. So we've got bolts that are too long, but we'll go get the proper length ones. But I'm pretty sure the hole here is gonna line up. And I know the transmission's gonna line up. Yeah, that goes right into there. And I know the transmission's gonna line up because we already have those bolted in, they're just loose. So go give me some of these. Do you have any that are 1.5 inches? Give me the inch or 1.5 inches.
I don't think so.
Okay, let's get those and we'll see if we can get them in. Okay, so I was thinking about it, and the reason why the transmission was hitting on the firewall, we had to cut it out, and I haven't had to do that on other small block trucks that have big blocks, because those stupid mounts were having it sit too high. But it's not really much of a loss because you wanted it cut out no matter what.
Yeah.
So no problem. We're gonna put your high hump, we'll just place it in there. We'll tack it in for now. We don't want to weld it fully in. And then we'll get a proper floor that we can weld in there, and then we'll bolt it in. So we do have 2 bolts in the back. We have 2 bolts kind of started in there, just keeping it all in place, but everything's in there. The bolts we have are too long, so we're gonna get those when we leave here, and we'll just put them in next time. But now we'll work on the steering column. All right, guys, so what's left of this sad pile of parts here was a 1970 Chevy truck that I drove in college. Actually, it was really nice. College. It was a factory 6-cylinder truck, 3-speed manual, green, but by the time I bought it, someone had primered it, and it had a 402 big block turbo 400 trans. So it was a pretty mean machine back in the day. Unfortunately, one day when I worked shift work, I was going to be off for a week. I thought, hey, let me strip it down and, you know, paint the frame, do all these wonderful things. And here it is about 15 years later, still sitting here. But I hate to take parts out of the old girl because I do want to fix it back up someday. It's not totally gone, even though it's not doing any favors out here. But today we're going to take the steering column out and put it in Keegan's Suburbans. All right, guys, so we got the steering column out. For those of you that maybe want to work on 6772s but aren't super familiar with them, I do want to go over some of the parts that go along with the steering column, because a lot of times when you go to a swap meet and you see a steering column, you're just getting from here to here, really. And I'll show you all the other stuff that you're going to need. Sorry about my nephew in the background. He's working on a ATV. All right, so usually it's going to be from here to there. That's where you're going to get a swap meet. But you're also going to need this really big washer. And these are things that I look for at swap meets that most people don't ever buy, and then I can get them for cheap, and it's stuff that's gold when you need it. Then, you know, you're going to need that big ass washer. This was the piece that I said was missing. Here's a complete piece. And he's having trouble over there. He's screaming and everything. Anyhow, I don't know what this piece is called. Sorry for you guys that do know. But you're going to need this piece, and it's going to go from the bottom of the steering column. And then this is your rag joint. The rag joint's going to go onto your power steering gearbox. We already have a rag joint on our power steering gearbox, so we're going to take this off but keep it. So you're going to need that, and of course you're going to need this pin with the nut, and it's like squared off on one end around here. But you're going to need that pin along with this, and then you're going to need, most of them will have this little bracket that's going to hold this rubber gasket. Basically just seals up the hole in the firewall, and it's just going to hold it in place. So these are like $2 repop if you need those. Most everyone that sells repop parts will have them. And then this is usually on there because they're hard to get off and on. So you know, you'll need those. And then Very important, you're going to need this little bracket thing. It's going to go inside up under here, and that's going to hold it in place. And then you're going to need on the outside of the firewall back here, you're going to need this bracket that kind of holds everything in place. And then there's a strap that goes over the steering column and that to kind of keep everything from sliding around. And then back on the inside, once you get the steering column all bolted in and that's in place, there's a bracket here that goes over that. And then there's a bracket here that kind of just cleans stuff up, kind of gets rid of the gap between the dash and everything. So what I'm going to do is when we put this back into Keegan's truck, I'll show you where all these parts go and everything. But these are all the other parts you usually don't get at a swap meet when you buy a steering column. Another thing is this is an automatic transmission steering column, and you can tell that because it's got this bracket here and then this shifter that lets you go in the park and all the different gears. If it's a manual, if it's either like a 4-speed manual, I think it's smooth, doesn't have anything, but if it's a 3-speed manual, it's just gonna have like a metal tab like this comes out, but it's not gonna have this other bracket. So that's usually how you can tell. Another thing I want to note is after we got this out, I went to my parts shop to get this. I found 2 more automatic transmission steering columns, which is always the way it goes. I got all these parts, but I got so many of them I can never find them, so then I'll rob them or buy them at a swap meet and then I find them later. So that's how it goes. And you said you do not want the old late 90s Grant GT steering wheel.
I know it adds 30 horsepower.
Yeah.
But what do you need that for when you have a big block?
Yeah. All right, guys, so it's a month after we put the engine in, and we have not made any progress. We were going to put a steering column in there and wrap up part 3 by putting a steering column in there and kind of showing how to do that. But when we started the process, we realized that someone had robbed the brake assembly out of there. So we've got to find a brake pedal assembly to go ahead and put the steering column and everything in. So swap meet season's coming up, so hopefully we'll be able to get one at one of our local swap meets. So while we wait on that, we're going to go ahead and wrap here, and we'll make the steering column install kind of like a how-to, so make it its own standalone 5-10 minute video or whatever it ends up being. But before we wrap this video, we did want to mention that even though progress on Franken-burb, because it's a little side project, hasn't been going super fast, it's going to slow down a bit because Keegan is going to turn 15 in a couple months, which means he's going to turn 16 in a little over a year. And we ended up, a few months ago, we ended up picking up a really nice project, 1972 Chevy Blazer, and we are going to start posting videos of that. That will be a much quicker build because we, like I said, we got about a year to get it completely safe and street legal. So while Franken-burb will progress, it's going to take a back burner to the Blazer. So we're going to still try to get some episodes out, and but you'll start seeing the 72 Blazer build videos coming out soon. And like I said, those should be a little bit more frequent, at least maybe a video a month, I'm hoping, on there. So it's not that we've abandoned this one, we're just going to shift gears onto that one, and then as we have time and everything, we'll work on this one. Anything you want to say to wrap out this episode, or about your Blazer build or anything? Good?
Not really.
All right, so that's where we're going to leave it on this one. It's slowly coming back to life, and you know, depending on how much time and money we have to spend on the Blazer, we'll try to get Franken-burb going a little bit at a time. But that's it for this video. We did end up getting the bolts into the engine, so it is firmly bolted in place. So like I said, we'll probably get some wiring in there and start working on the front end and everything. So that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching.